Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to our November 2024 meeting of our Keep Texas Beautiful Advisory Committee. We're going to begin with item 1, call to order.
Mari Caballero,
Here.
Romeo Robles Jr.,
Here.
Romeo Cantu, Marisa Oliva, Rolando Perez,
Here.
Laura de la Garza,
Here.
Jessica Treviño.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Bernal. I need a motion on the floor to excuse any absent members, please.
Madam Chairman, I move that we excuse the absent members.
Okay, we've got a motion. I need a second, please.
I second.
All right, we've got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, being that there's no opposition, the motion passes. We're going to move on to item 1B, invocation. Let us quiet our minds and open our hearts to unite ourselves in prayer. Father God, we come before you with praise and thanksgiving for all things in our lives, the blessings, peaks, the crosses, valleys. For all, we come before you graced, knowing that your love is everlasting and will carry us through. Lord, come and stay with us. Fill our lives with your peace, our homes with your presence, and our hearts with your conversion. Help us daily to show love, kindness, mercy, and goodness, therefore bringing hope to all that we encounter. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 With that, we move on to administrative item 2A, approval of minutes for the October 15th, 2024 regular called meeting. I need a motion on the floor for the approval of these minutes.
Madam President, I move that we approve the minutes for our last meeting.
Okay, I've got a motion on the floor. I need a second, please.
I second that.
Okay, I've got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, being that there's no opposition, the motion carries. Thank you. We move on to administrative item 2B, discussion on Keep Pharr Beautiful 2024 projects. Committee before you, and I'm not sure you've had a chance to look at it, are two packets. The first one I'm going to ask you to kind of just browse through has to do with the seed library project. So B1 is discussion and action, if any, on the seed library project. If you want to glance at that, it is the one with Ms. Cynthia A. Castro at the very top of the packet. If you want to look at that briefly, and then while you're doing that, I'm going to invite Remy Vargas, our urban ecologist, to come forward and do a small presentation for us, it's kind of a recap of this information, okay? We had a gentleman who was going to also come and share with us. He is Mr. Roberto Gaetan with the he's with the Rio Grande Valley chapter of the Native Plant
Society.
Project.
Yeah.
Society, I'm sorry.
Society
So,
of
but he had
Unforeseen
an emergency. So
circumstances, yeah.
Remy's going to give us all the information that he can.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a quick rundown of what a seed library consists of. First of all, actually, let me introduce myself, Remy. Thank you guys for having me. You know, it feels like just yesterday that I was introducing myself. But essentially, what a seed library consists of, it's pretty much a community resource where people can borrow or check out a variety of different seeds to plant at home or community gardens. You know, kind of like checking out a book, per se. And you could take this different ways. You could kind of write your name, to check out the envelopes. But what it really consists of is, the community working together and kind of, if you do borrow some seeds, the borrower will, if they're successful, bring some of those seeds back and kind of keep this going. But it encourages also preservation of locally adapted seeds, especially here in the Rio Grande Valley where it gets really hot. We have some very interesting climate, and a lot of these resilient native plants are really what's needed here to be planted. But it's free or very low cost for the people to use. Most of the seeds, are either used from other native plants are already growing. We kind of just get those seeds, or if we're gonna do also a kind of garden for vegetables and stuff like that, we'd have to purchase those. But the importance of this seed library, pretty much, it promotes biodiversity, it supports growth, and also conservation. Also, with that being said, one of the things we could also do with the seed library to kind of make it aware is have kind of meetings or education towards the community, how to plant, how to kind of pick out the seeds and stuff like that, which will be a great thing to teach a lot of the people that don't know about growing. A lot of people say they don't have a green thumb, but we have some of these kind of community outreach and teaching people. Let's say have Mr. Gaitan and do some presentations as well. And also it helps, the most important for me, I think it helps pollinators, right? A lot of these plants, they flower, they have beautiful flowers, and they're important source of nectar for a lot of these local pollinators and other pollinators like monarchs that are passing by that essentially need that food to keep on with their journey. So I did do a little research and a little background. I actually met with Mr. Gaitan, and he said he was willing to help us in starting this initiative. He is from the Native Plant Society, the RGV chapter. And he said he's actually also starting with Alamo Library as well. One of the things I did also is I went out and reached out to the Pharr Memorial Library. So I went in and got in contact with them. And interesting enough, I found a place. And this is some of the different ways you could take on a seed library. These are from different places in the U.S. You see New York, Canyon Lake, Texas, and also Phoenix, Arizona. You could, like I said, there's so many different ways to do this. Just whatever fits our budget or whatever we can. And as far as the library said, they said they would print out any posters to put out there and kind of promote this native seed library. And if you go to the next slide, this is actually the space they're giving us to start this. Yeah, it might not look like much, but that's all you really need to kind of start this little seed library. It's 4.5 feet long, it's 3 feet narrow, and it's 10 feet wide. What I really like about this little place is it has this beautiful window in the back, and so the sun, when the sun hits, you could see it. It's not dim lit, so people are actually gonna be able to see it. And it's in Pharr Memorial Library. It's there in the back, but like I said, you put some posters, some signage. I think it will look real nice to kind of promote. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's another thing I was working on. But that's pretty much the rundown of what a seed library consists of. And the other thing is kind of looking for some of the cost-effective things like envelopes. Where are we going to put the seeds, like the containers and stuff like that, which is I think in the email that Marissa had sent, there's like a budget.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's detail information and examples of the bins on this. So I really appreciate you. That was awesome. I hope that last slide you'll be able to talk about it in a bit, right? In the next what is it? It'll be 2B2, right? But does anybody have any questions for Remy?
Remy, I just wanted to let you know that I had mentioned that the refuge would like to be a part of it, so they would lend you a space as well. And they're in the visitor center, so you could do that. Of course, you know, because we want to make sure that we're promoting pollinators and, of course, making sure that the community's, you know, going out there and being sustainable as well. So we'd
Yeah.
like to partner with y'all. So
That would be
feel
great.
free,
That-
there's space for you at the refuge to
Oh, okay.
to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
that as
That's
well.
a hard part, you know, trying to find a place, you know,
Yeah.
or space, you know, that they're willing to kind of give.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Laura.
No,
Thank
no, I
you.
just wanted to add, I was actually at the library this past Saturday, and there was a lot of traffic for Saturday, I thought. So it's something that could take off. I think one of the things that we do need to consider is, you know, when you buy a package of seeds at, you know, Lowe's or Home Depot or any garden center, it's got information on the back that we're able to provide a little information about planting depth, spacing, and things like that, you know, for each of the varieties that we have, or that we're going to have.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things I saw is a lot of these seed libraries. They consist of kind of binders, where they have all these seeds. They have information about them, how to plant, when's the best time to plant them, you know. And that's something Mr. Gaitan could kind of help us with, kind of establish, you know, this kind of the key
Right.
to plant when, where, why, how, and stuff like that. So that would be great to have as well.
And with all good projects, if there is no promotion of it, and so of course we kind of threw some ideas around, and we came up with our social media department, right?
Yeah.
So I know that they've committed to helping us launch this when we're ready, right?
Great.
Because if our community isn't aware of the opportunity that lies at the library or at the refuge, then those seeds are going to be sitting there. So again, education, and again, by small little programming, which, like you say, we could do a little native landscape class, a little small mini thing,
Yeah.
a little informational, what do you need to do or to start kind of thing. But it's a great idea, and I appreciate you for all the work you did, and of course, Ms. Castro and Marisa Oliva for planting the seed, should I say that? Planting the seed and doing the initial research, and then, of course, Ms. Castro and Remy. Again, thank you for offering your space. I don't know if you all feel like you need more time to look at the details. If we do have it can be an action item, or we can table the action for the next meeting. If you want to take a better look at it, if you want us to research further the actual packets, the actual cost of it's kind of here, but if you want us to, if your direction is, let's just start with 12 natives, 500 seeds, where are we getting them, what's the cost, how are we going to get them, the envelopes, the binders, what, or if you want us to move forward with starting to really.
I do have a question, though. The seats that you currently have, were they donated?
No,
Like,
we
from Lowe's,
don't, but I talked to Mr. Gaitan. We met at the Pharr Vanguard Nature Park, and there's a lot of these native plants that are blooming, and they're giving off the seeds already. So we would kind of they'll be free for us. Just
Because
to
I
take
know
it.
that Lowe's one time, I asked for a donation for different
seeds?
types of vegetable seeds, and they
Yeah.
gave me a huge box of, you name it, all kinds of, so we did out of the school.
And maybe we could do that as well
garden.
here. You know, find a local kind of garden place or something, and maybe
And
they
then
could
one
donate.
suggestion, if you don't mind me saying, something for like the community to know, like what can you plant in the fall, what can you plant in the spring, or during the winter time, right?
Yeah,
That would be something for them to kind of educate them on that.
yeah, that'll be
What
great.
type of seeds can they use during the different seasons, right?
Yeah,
what
we,
can
we,
they plant?
we could have like little segments at the library. You know, it's like presentations on what to plant during certain times of the.
And at the refuge too, at the library and at the refuge.
The
'cause
refuge
you'll-
too.
you'll
Yeah, we
have-
could do both.
We have a lot of traffic there on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of traffic, so.
You
that'd
have
be a great time.
a space, right?
Yes,
You
we
have
do.
like
Yes, I talked to the manager and
You
I
have
told
a-
him about it, yeah.
actual, like a
We have
little
a
meeting
conference
room,
room as
right,
well.
or something?
Yes, we have an auditorium as
Okay.
well, so you can present there as well. And we can put it on we can put it out there and we can kind of promote it through our Facebook and then put out flyers around the visitor center as well.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah. So there is, you know,
okay. And you know,
Lot
we
we
could
can do
just
with it.
stay native.
Yes.
We could just native with the emphasis on our pollinators, and then start with that, and then, you know, expand as we
Definitely.
grow, as far as adding more. You want to go into vegetables?
Yeah, I was gonna say
you know, but
vegetables.
if you just want to, I don't know, that's just
I agree.
ideas.
I agree.
And that's, yes, that's something, you know, we could talk about, we can incorporate vegetables or, you know, other herbs and stuff like that. But for the meantime, you know, natives are pretty much the easiest thing because we have a whole bunch of native seeds, you know, in our gardens and in our parks already that we could kind of just go and pick out.
So I don't,
like the idea.
any ideas on, do you want to take action? Do you want to wait?
Take action.
Well, and just one quick question. I know this comes from Marisa
Marisa,
Oliva.
and she's not here
And
today.
so, down there, if you look at the section where it's budget, so this was an estimated budget, but as per the library, you notice there's a big difference.
Yes,
And, you know, if we get started for that, I wouldn't, you know, I would say let's take action on that tonight.
yeah, if,
You know, now, has the city committed anything, or is this gonna come out of the monies that
this would
committee has.
probably, I haven't asked the city for help. I'm thinking that this would come out of the monies that we have in our coffers, so to speak. But-
I haven't asked for any funding for it, but now that we know that we're gonna move forward and we've got two different locations.
Maybe we could get a
to
match.
promote this, then I think that it would be something that they would really consider. So
Like-
I can go ahead and check on that and get back to you next time around, or maybe between now and the next meeting. I
And
can let you
December.
know.
Okay, well, pending that information, then
Okay.
I think we need to wait.
Okay. It would be
Um,
great if they could match it, right? And we could, instead of doing one, we just do
That's a good idea.
two, and we mimic the same, and we put one over.
I'll pose that.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
then we'll bring it
So
back.
it's okay for me to just, we're gonna table the action? Okay. Okay. Any more questions for Remy before he sits down?
Thank you, Remy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So don't sit down.
Oh.
What we're gonna do is, there's no other question on the Seed Library for any of you? Okay. Then we're gonna move on, and we're gonna move on to administrative item 2B2. Discussion on Keep Our Beautiful projects. So while Mr. Remy's up there, you might as well.
Okay. So one of the interesting things I talked to Mr. Gaitan about, he wants to incorporate a native landscaping certification class, or, you know, classes here in the city of Pharr for, you know, for everybody to kind of take a part on. And this certification program, it's about 4 different classes, and it's I think he said around $45 each class. But, you know, after you pretty much take all those classes, you're pretty well rounded in what you could plant in your gardens and stuff like that. It's a very interesting class. I think, Ms. Caballero, you're taking part of it right now?
My husband and I took the level 1 course, and it is called, it is a course offered by the Native Plant Society of Texas, but it's offered through the Rio Grande Valley chapter of the Native Plant Society. And Mr. Gayatan is a Texas Master Naturalist, and he is also a native, part of the Native Plant Society. Living here in South Texas, he realized that he needed to gear that. The information at the Texas level is geared for kind of this overall Texas landscape
Yeah.
stuff. And it's very different here,
Yeah,
down here in
South
our,
Texas
in
is
our
its own.
thorn forest kind of
Yeah.
situation that we have going, and very dry landscapes. So things that grow in Fredericksburg not necessarily grow in Pharr. And so he decided he was going to streamline the class and make it more pertaining to our habitat, and using plants that grow better here, that grow here.
Yeah.
So my husband and I took the level 1. It's 4 levels, and it was at the level 1 class. It's an all-day thing, and I'm proud to say we took the test and we passed. He's wanting to offer, and he's seeing the need. We have a native park, soon to have another native park.
Yeah.
Our schools have native outdoor classroom settings, and of course, more to come, which I'm really excited about. But if our landscapers, our maintenance people with our municipalities and our school districts don't know how to care for our natives, then they're going to let the invasive grasses grow, or they're going to take care of the invasive grasses in such a way that they're going to bloom and grow more, instead of figuring out, okay, this is how you take care of this invasive grass. This is how you trim this native tree. This is how you trim this native
Or
bush.
to cut and what not to cut. Like
Exactly.
native milkweed. A lot of people see milkweed and they think it's of course
Yeah, they'll just mow it.
obnoxious. Just cut it off, and it's essential for a lot of these pollinators, especially the monarch.
So he's seeing the need, and I believe we paid $45 for the class, and it's 4 levels, and it's something that is needed for our municipalities and our school districts to take advantage of, but no one has come forth to teach them or offer them this class.
It'll be a great initiative for a lot of these maintenance workers or people that are working outside and trimming and cutting to kind of take on and learn a little bit more about our native landscaping. So yeah, that's something he wanted to come and talk to him about himself, but he couldn't make it. But it's kind of something I'm throwing out there right now.
And I'm thinking that we could help him some way, shape, or form by either helping to facilitate the class, help him along so he instructs, or like some of us that have taken the class maybe do part of it. I know his wife was instrumental that day in helping give the class as well.
Oh, okay.
But it takes a village, and he's a village of 1 and 2 with his wife.
Yeah.
So I know that, and then just spreading the word that this is available.
Yeah, that's the other thing, kind of letting the community know about this program too, kind of let everybody know.
Not everybody knows,
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Is there any questions for Mr. Remy? Any questions? Okay. You had another slide up there. I'm wondering if she can put it up.
I think it was the last 2 slides.
Yeah. Because you were going to talk about that.
Oh yeah, that was
Possible. Yeah.
possible.
Just
That was
in
something
the
I was
future.
working on for future
Well, you can
references.
tease us. You can
yeah,
tease
this
us.
is something.
Remy hit the ground running when he joined the group.
I did actually. There's a lot of stuff I did just in a month.
Mind you, he didn't have a desk or a computer
Or a computer,
or a chair to sit on, but he hit the ground running.
So let's go all the way to the end. Right there.
Right there.
Go back.
Oh.
Go back.
What?
Right there. So this is something I was looking into, thanks to the help of Miss Cynthia. Adopt a Highway. It's a very cool initiative, very interesting. It's fairly easy to do. So I think most of you have heard of, or seen at least, a sign or a billboard that says, adopted by X person or X, and what's really interesting is we were driving around and we couldn't find any places here in Pharr, but then we stumbled upon this location right on, was it Jackson? Jackson, yeah. I'm still getting used to the directions around here. But this initiative is, it's about is it 2 years? It's a 2-year contract, and it's a 2-mile stretch of this kind of highway, and really it's a real cool initiative for the Keep Pharr community to kind of keep our city beautiful by picking up litter around the roads, and Texas Transportation, they would give us the bags, they would give us the safety training, and they will also give us a safety vest and stuff. So everything's kind of provided for us. All we need is to show up at least 4 times a year to clean up this road that we adopt. And one of the big things is they do it one big cleanup in April, and I think that's called Texas trash. Texas
It's
trash.
got a catchy name.
Yeah, something like that. And
It's
that's
got a
when
catchy name.
kind of all of Texas kind of gets together and cleans up for that day. But this is the location I was looking at. Yeah, so that's the 2 miles, and that's it's kind of hard to see.
The orange line is which road?
Yeah, that's Jackson.
Jackson,
Yeah,
okay.
so it stretches from Hackberry, East Hackberry, all the way to Nolana.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, it's a pretty good stretch, but I think it's a good initiative, and we get volunteers to help out. It's a great way to kind of show off and promote Keep Pharr Beautiful.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we put that on the agenda for December and take an action on that?
Yeah,
Is that-
if you guys
is
are
that
more than-
what we need to do? Is that what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen?
So Jackson being the dividing line,
Uh-huh,
so we would work on
On the
the east side of Jackson.
right? On the east side of Jackson? Because on
Yeah.
the west side of Jackson, it's McAllen.
Yeah, so.
Well,
And
this would be a
it's-
great place to.
Yeah, I'm still looking into kind of more information about it, so
You'll,
but yeah.
you'll bring us whatever you can next time, and we'll put it on the agenda, discussion and action on Adopt a Highway.
Okay.
Is there a cost to adopting the highway?
No.
No,
there's
it's a 2-year contract, 2-mile stretch, and we get a
Get a
free
nice
sign with our name on it.
City of
So every
Pharr.
time you drive through that road, you're gonna see Keep Pharr Beautiful community.
Yeah.
So that's
We
great.
looked into this years ago, I don't know if you remember. And there was nothing available in the Pharr area.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
So
was
this,
nothing
yeah,
available.
so we drove around quite a bit too, but this is kind of the only place.
What
available.
happens is people don't renew their contract for whatever reason, or they don't fulfill their commitments, so they get ousted. They're given the boot, so to speak. But thank you.
Yeah.
No, be great. Be great.
There's actually another place that I'm thinking, right down the street, Remy. It's because I know that their sign has been there for a while. It is along Nolana Loop. If you turn, I guess going on Jackson, you turn to the right, so to the west of I think right now it says Palmer Drug Abuse Program. So that one's been on there for years, and I haven't seen a lot of movement, so we could potentially
Take that
inquire
one.
about that if you all are more interested in that location, if it's available.
Yeah.
Something in Pharr.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you guys are interested in doing this this program, I could reach out and see what is available, and maybe I could find some other location.
Yeah,
That
check
it's in-
with-
within
check with
cities.
TxDOT, see what's available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking too, for some reason, I had the idea it had to be one of their right-of-ways.
Yes.
Remember that? Because you were here. We've been here forever.
It's time. It's time.
They will tell you
Yeah.
what is available for us in Pharr. But this is a great idea.
Yep.
Right? This is where maybe we can get our youth, that youth coalition, to help us out, that Marisa and Ms. Castro are working on. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
this would be
it's a
awesome.
great way to get the community involved and
Yes.
keep Pharr
Yes.
beautiful. Keep.
Yes. And it could possibly be incorporated with a trash bash that same
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah.
Help us clean up this part of
I know.
town. Combine it to
Combine it,
where
yeah.
you get volunteers to show up. All right? So we look forward to more info on it.
Yeah.
In December. Anybody else have any questions for Remy? Are we good?
We're good.
Okay. Do you have anything else
Uh,
under prospective new projects, or
Not
you
perception
don't
new
wanna,
project.
you
No,
don't
no,
wanna
I'm
tease
already.
us anymore?
Yeah, no more teasing. Yeah.
I appreciate
Just
you.
what I've been up to, but that's later.
No, you've been up to a lot. I know you have. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you
Really
so
do. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Before I bring up Ms. Castro to talk about, I believe I was going to bring up Ms. Castro. Yes, I was going to bring up Ms. Castro, right? But before I do, and you make your way up, I wanted to just share briefly with the committee about our Governor's Community Achievement Award. That it's the grant that we're going to be working on come January. It's through the Keep Texas Beautiful umbrella, and it's called the Governor's Community Achievement Award. And the grant is based, again, on population. There's 8 different categories. The questions, the grant is released in January, and we work on the grant. Mr. Peña in Public Works, along with Ms. Irma, they worked on it diligently this past year, along with different departments, help answer the questions for this grant, and then it's electronically submitted. I just became aware last week that we did receive, we continued with sustained gold, which is great. That's what we wanted to do. If we're not going to win it, we're not going to win the money, we're not going to win it in our category, we want to keep at least at that level. That means that we're maximizing our potential, so to speak. I saw the plaque, and so it was like, okay, great. So the feedback from Keep Texas Beautiful to Mr. Peña, in a nutshell, was y'all barely missed it. And I don't know if you recall when Ms. Medina was here, Crystal, in the past also, it was like, we barely missed it, but we've got sustained gold. So in the last few years, I want to say maybe 3 years or so, we're barely missing it. And so the thought is that that we threw around some ideas, and after communicating with our assistant manager, David Freeland, Dr. Freeland, we're thinking that we're going to get a meeting together with the departments who are instrumental in answering the questions. And we're going to sit around in a round table, have a discussion, make sure they understand the scope of the grant, why it's important. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that everyone across the state is doing the same programming. People are recycling, people are picking up trash, people are picking up tires, people are planting, they're having Arbor Days, they're doing a number of things. The thing is, the winners are doing it just a little bit better. And there's no reason why we can't do that, right? And then when the feedback has been, you're just barely missing it. So what happens is these questions are weighed, and you get points. And of course, just like any grant, there needs to be documentation, pictures, the wording, the verbiage. Everything is so important. You can't go over. You have to. You want to maximize. If they want you to use 200 words, you want to use 200 words. You want them to be as colorful and descriptive and whatnot. So if you get a department that's doing all the programming, but the person who wrote the answers to the questions isn't understanding the programming, then you see the gap or the disconnect. So like, for example, later on there's going to be, Dylan's going to show us with code, he's going to show us this beautiful beautiful picture of their programming that's coming up in December, which is Cody's holiday block party. And when I saw that, I said, okay, see, this right here and what they're doing with their block party, they're taking it to a different level. I sure do hope that in January, somebody writes about this. We do these block parties, we have so many a year, and we hit this many, this is how many people we touch, this is what we give out, this is what we share, this is the information they're given, and with pictures, and we culminate with this beautiful party, holiday party in our beautiful downtown park that is decorated to the highs, right? And that is taking one program outside the box. Now, if every department that has to do with that grant understands their programming and does what they're doing, and see, can you imagine everybody does just a little bit more? There's no way we can't win. And this is not winning for this committee or for Mari Caballero. This is winning for the city of Pharr, for Team Pharr, not for us. This is bragging rights for the city, for the employees. You guys are the boots on the ground. You guys are the ones that do all the work. And if it comes down to verbiage and numbers and somebody not reporting it correctly, it's sad. Yeah, $200,000, I don't know about you, but I don't have that lying around. That's a lot of money. And $200,000 can help us landscape a beautiful area with the help of TxDOT here in the city, whether it be South Pharr and coming in from the bridge. The bridge is going to expand, but, I don't know if they're thinking about how they're going to embellish the entry there at what is it, South Cage and Military Highway. Anyway, we're here today, and all we can do, we're volunteers. So this meeting, the idea is to bring all the stakeholders together, which are maybe the directors of these departments, have them understand the grant, why it's important, what it does, how everybody's doing the same thing, and perhaps let's put our heads together and see how we can do it a little better, right? And then, so hopefully meet in December. I'm going to open it up to, we'll send a notice once we get the meeting date. I'll send a notice to the committee and see who can show up. Obviously, not every one of us can show up, because then becomes a board meeting and we can't have a quorum. But whoever the first three are that say I can go, then of course they're invited. But the point is for the stakeholders to take claim of this, and then in January, kick off with whatever programming twist, outside the box idea they had, and go with it for the whole year, because this grant, it's from January 1st through December 31st, whoever you touched, whatever you did. So anyway, that's what's coming down the pike. I'm very excited for 2025, and I'm very excited that we've got administrators that are on board. Moreover, I'm just real excited for our Team Pharr, our boots on the ground, our folks that are out there day in and day out making things happen, really. So with that, Ms. Castro, so that was one Keep Pharr Beautiful project that I had a report on. Now Ms. Castro will share with you some other ideas.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. Do you want me to start with the conversation about the citywide garage sale, or?
How about the oldest, which is the standpipes?
Okay, so with the standpipes. So there was, I think I mentioned previously that there had been some issues that came up as we started that project, or as we started actually the first one. And I'm glad that we found out when we did,
Yes.
because the problem had to do with the standpipe that we selected is an active standpipe that contains water. It's in one of the main areas, and I did not know that. And so I'm learning as I go, and we realized that there was some bubbling that was happening, that was occurring as a result of the cement is porous, and so there's going to be some change in the adhesion. And so when we learned that, I needed to, figure out a different way of how to making that that seal that we're using withstand any type of element, whether it's the heat or water or whatever. And so I'm currently doing some research. We're testing out a standpipe currently with a special product. And it has been up with the special paint, so to speak, for a couple of weeks. So far, it looks good. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and get some signage on it. Maybe not the artwork per se, because we're not ready to launch that quite yet. I need to make sure that this process that we are going through will withstand, like I said, any of the elements that it is subjected to. So that's currently what we're doing. I need to also get back with city management and let them know this is what this cost will be. This is what it'll look like, because I had not anticipated that cost
The
being
added.
factored in. So I need to do a little more research. I'm still in the process. There's a lot of things going on at the same time, and I'm sorry that it's not completed, but it is still in the works, and we are continuing to move forward with learning as through the process as we go through. So that's still in the process, and I hope to give you an update next month to see what has developed. Hopefully this will work and it won't cause the same issues that are currently being had. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Do we have any questions? I just thought, I know that when we walked in, he had a question.
Yes,
so-
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
No, I
Go
know
ahead.
that there's some products out there that I've seen on television that they wrap where there's a leak and they sort of paint it. I don't know if y'all have seen that.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some
That it's supposed to.
concrete basement sealers that might work.
Yeah.
The sun, we're never gonna be able to get anything that,
Right.
the sun's gonna tear stuff up, so.
Right. And so the company that we're working with as well, it's new to them as far as the type of structure that we're utilizing. So when I went to them to propose this idea, that's why they were so interested in working with us, because for them it was a learning experience as well. And they were looking forward to, at the end of the day, creating some sort of study, so that they can continue to do that for other cities, municipalities, and so forth. So it's a learning experience. I've learned quite a few things, how to do differently and how to do better. So we're still working at it. So thank you for your patience. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I have no doubt that when this is done, it's going to be amazing.
I think
It's
so.
going to be amazing.
I think so too.
It's just, we got to be patient,
We
right?
can
Yes.
have to learn.
Patient. Any questions then on standpipe art? Okay. All right, go. So I know that just to follow with the agenda, and you had some information on the citywide garage sale. So that is administrative item 2B3.
Okay, so in front of you, you should have a copy of the citywide garage sale research that was done by Ms. Marisa Oliva. She was kind enough to provide this information to you, and it shows that there are several cities that are already participating in this type of event. Castroville being one of them, and I looked into some of these, and for example, number one, the first one is Castroville, and it says that they do this twice a year. They do require registration from people who are going to be participating, and they charge $5 for the yard sale, $10 for booths in town square. I guess they have like different locations, and $20 for any vendors, whether they're food vendors or non-food vendors. It's also done as a fundraiser for local pet shelter, and I believe that all of the proceeds that they receive go towards this pet shelter in Castroville. So you're going to see a variety of different ways that this is done. I guess with this information, I think it's page 3. On page 3, there's a proposal for you. And the proposal is, we're proposing a 2-day event, maybe late September, early October, or late March, early April. Duration would be 2 days, a Saturday and a Sunday, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then something like the garage sales for homeowners would be $5 to participate. We could have indoor booths at the Recreation Center, at the DRC, and at Pharr 1 for $10. Vendors, we can charge $20 for food and non-food vendors, and city and nonprofit exhibitors would be free.
Registration would be required approximately 2 weeks prior to the event, and they would register on the city website. Of course, this is just a proposal, it's just an idea. We can tweak it any way you'd like. But if we are interested in doing this, then that we just need to know so that we can go ahead and get with the departments that are also would be involved in this process and make sure that we're all, working toward the same goal and making sure that we all know what is expected and if they're willing to work on this with us as well. The last page has some incentives for participants, such as yard signs, free advertising, of course, and community engagement. There's the departments that would be involved would be Public Works, Public Safety, Parks and Recreation, Solid Waste Department, Code Enforcement as well. Security management, we would increase patrols at the time, community watch and security valuables as well. And then on the very bottom would be an example of what the press release would look like.
So again, this is open for discussion. Marisa, as you can see, did a lot of work on this. And this all falls under sustainability and keeping the clothing moving forward and not ending up in our trash. It's like a recycling event. And at this time, Ms. Castro, do you know how much the city charges for a garage sale?
I believe it's $15? $15, thank you.
Okay.
And it's
And it's
two
two
per
per
year. So I think
know-
another thing that Marisa had mentioned was that this would not affect their 2 garage sales per year. Like we would waive that, we would consider waiving that for this, for this particular event. And I think that would.
Since that's another incentive. In other
Yes.
words, for someone to participate, that should they decide, they know for sure that they're gonna be emptying their house at the end of the year and they're gonna need to have a garage sale, but they've already had one earlier, and if they participate in this, they're not.
Right.
This is an incentive if it's not part of that, those 2, right? So, any questions, discussion? I know that we can't take action on this today because we did not put that on the agenda, but I did want, in all fairness, to share this information that was very well put together and by Ms. Marisa. And you've heard her mention it before at meetings. And we do have the food bank here in our front yard, and I'm sure there's a number of other charitable organizations as well, or perhaps we could, use it in another capacity. But there's a lot of ideas circulating, a lot of ideas. So, shall we put it to rest for another meeting? Let you all take this home and.
Well, I will say this, I know that we're throwing a lot, at one time.
Yes.
There's just so many different ideas, and I think it's exciting whether we move forward with this now or next year, at least we have the information in front of us and we are able to act on it if you all choose to do so.
I think this is gonna get, or need some approval from.
Oh, yeah, from
Absolutely.
From our
another-
forefathers.
Yeah.
From
Our
another
fathers.
board.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
If there's no more questions for Ms. Castro?
we're good.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
And so I just have,
Yes.
if I can, got some good news
Okay,
today, or some
yes,
promising
yes,
news.
yes.
Marisa had also mentioned the EPA Community Change Grant involving Jones Box Park, which is a roughly $12 million proposal to do upgrades to the park. So today, we were advised that we have been accepted to the second round of the
That's
review,
awesome.
which is great. Our proposal will now move forward to the merit review stage.
Wow.
I anticipate the next couple of weeks, they will make the announcement. They had said that it might be until January, but it seems to be moving along a little quicker than we anticipated, and we've been working really hard on putting this together with UT Austin Group, with so many different people and collaborations. The name of the proposal that we submitted is Stewardship Center and Animadoras for Nature-Based Action, also known as SANA. And so yeah, that was really exciting news to have heard today. So hopefully we're able to get through that process and maybe see that come to fruition. That would be great.
That's amazing. And this
So-
is for Jones Box Park.
Yes, ma'am.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
I don't know if you all have any
Any
questions
I don't-
for me? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Castro. All right, so without further ado, we move on to item 2C, administrative item 2C, updates on, and we'll have building and code come forward, please. Yes, Mr. Dillon and Mr. David Cantu.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I am Officer David Cantu, and you all know Dylan already. And we're with Building and Code. And to start here, y'all were talking about earlier, this is the Cody holiday gift donations we have going on. I don't know if y'all noticed, there's boxes in certain areas. I don't know if there was something
Are
on
they,
the screen, gift donations, and
And then we also have a video that we had created for this.
you want to play the video?
The holiday season is here, and Pharr Code Compliance is excited to invite you to Cody's Holiday Block Party, Friday, December 12th. Now through December 10th, we'll be hosting a toy drive to make the holiday season brighter for the kids in our community. You can find a donation box at City Hall, Main Event, Chick-fil-A, and many more. For more information, you can contact our Building Code Compliance Department at 956-402-2633. Happy holidays!
Very good. I love it. I saw the box downstairs. I never get down in Chick-fil-A, so I haven't seen that box. Sorry.
so with those donations, those gifts will be given out at the upcoming block party that y'all heard about as well. And moving on to the block party, that's happening December 12th. And usually they put them around the city throughout the year. I think we do them quarterly or try to.
Yeah, we're doing them quarterly, so the next one will be in March as well.
In March.
Yeah, but this time it'll be located at our very home here in City Hall. And if there's any questions, that can be emailed to Code Enforce at pharr-text.gov or our phone number 956-402-2633. If you have any questions on the block party.
That's going to be lots of fun. That's all I know. It's going to be awesome.
And moving on to one of our other programs, we have the Property Maintenance Assistance Program. We had one property cut in October. It's been kind of dry lately. So we had one done there. We have two upcoming this week for November, and we're still accepting applications for those as well. And if there's any questions on that.
They can call that same number, right, sir?
Yes, they can,
Okay, very
absolutely. And the other program we have is the Plaque Assistance Program. 16 plaques were installed in the month of October, and we're also still accepting applications for that as well.
Very cool.
And so cases for the month of October, our proactive cases are at 323 proactive cases we had in October. We had about 49 complaints in that month. We opened a total of 372, and about 184 of them were weedy properties. It's usually a big complaint. And we had 51 health inspections done that month as well.
51?
Yes.
Very busy,
Y'all were busy. Busy.
very busy.
It would have been a little bit more busier, but the last 2 weeks of October, we were at the election polls.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
our stuff was cut in half, basically.
Still, y'all did a lot.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I do have some flyers as well for the block party.
Oh, yes,
Oh, good,
yes, please, please,
yes.
please. Do you have any questions for Mr. David Cantu?
Okay,
No?
I'll make copies of these, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh, you know what? I have one, so you can give it to them. Mhm.
Thank you.
No questions for David or Dylan? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really do. Thank you. We look forward to this block party. It's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Going to be
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you
Thank you
all.
for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Parks and Rec, I'm not sure if you have anything else to add. Ms. Castro, Remy, I think you really shared everything. I think you did. Also, Public Works, Ms. Irma Diaz did extend her apologies. She was not able to be here tonight. She was not in today. She was sick. She had to leave early. But she did want me to just make sure that you all knew that this Saturday at Jones Box Park is the Trash Bash, scheduled from 8 till noon. And they'll be out there with their roll-offs and accepting recyclables and everything else that they do. And I will tease you a little bit with our recycling center will be growing in the next year, in the new year, and there's a lot of exciting things happen with Public Works. And but that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let them tell you once they start rolling with it, but there is going to be an expansion to our recycling, which is great. So with that, we move on to administrative item 2D, board comments. Anybody want to add anything, share, discuss, comment?
No, all I wanted to say was, and I'm glad you brought that last item up, but it meshes with the application for the grant, and I've always been of the opinion that if we brought this recycling to scale, I mean, there's been times that I've gone to recycle some cardboard and I go back home because it's full and I don't want to lay it outside the building. But if we bring this to scale and we talk and we're intentional about, what we're doing to expand our efforts, and like I said, it would mesh with the grant, and I think that's a big, big plus.
Yeah, can't do one without the other.
No.
Yeah, can't do one without the other. Yeah. Anybody else?
Ms. Caballero,
Yes.
I wanted to put myself on the agenda for next month to give an update about River Forge Station.
Oh, okay.
I have a thank you card, but I didn't bring it because I was actually out of the office in different meetings all day today.
That's okay. That's okay.
and
Well,
then I
it
came
is a
here.
comment. Do you want to add anything or?
So the refuge manager did give me, or he sent with me, but like I said, I didn't get to go to my office and print it out. But there was a thank you for the city of Pharr for all the help that they received. And that's why next
Yes,
month I'll
you'll
give
be-
you all an
yes.
update as to how many plantings
fine.
that we put on the ground, how many individuals, how many students. But yes, he was very grateful. The Fish and Wildlife Service and just in general is very grateful to the city of Pharr for all the help that we received. We had like a tremendous amount of people out there. That is probably the biggest one that we've ever had. And when I looked at the numbers, and I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I remember it was a lot more.
We'll put her on the
So
agenda
many
for next.
students, so many
December.
students. Yeah, it was like a huge outreach event. The guys, Cody was out there, so code enforcement was out there. We had the fire guys, just
Fire
the
department,
community,
police department.
the engagement that we had from all the departments here in the city of Pharr. It was just
We had-
amazing. I don't think we've ever
Yeah.
seen that, so it's something that we want to highlight as well. So it's something that we're going to write up and we're going to send it to our national magazine, and hopefully that's something that they're going to pay. But this is something that they love to see, that we're actually engaging with the community and they're working with partners like City of Pharr. So thank you
Yeah,
very much.
it was almost a mini It was almost a mini city hall on call. So it was public health, our public health department was out there, Public Works was out there, Parks and Rec was out there, Mr. Remy Vargas, Urban Ecology was out there. We had police department was out there with their tunes, cranking up their tunes and getting the youth dancing and motivated and being good. We had fire department out there. Of course, Cody was out there being photographed with a lot of kids and planting.
I loved him.
And my understanding is Irma with Public Works is going to have her. She's going to get her mascot ready for next Rio reforestation because no se quiere quedar atrás. I love it. It's just exciting. It was a great time, and it was great to see. And I have to tell you, these people that were there in attendance were from Brownsville all the way to Roma.
Yep.
The entire Rio Grande Valley, and they were coming together to create new thorn forests in our backyard. So how powerful is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very powerful. So yeah, we're gonna put you on the agenda. We're gonna put you on the agenda. It was amazing. So I just wanna, my comments will include just some reminders on some key things that our wonderful Team Pharr is doing for us. So Trash Bash is this Saturday, Jones Box Park. That's the 23rd from 8 till noon. We have our City of Pharr Winter Wonderland scheduled for December the 6th here, downtown park, lighting of the tree and all that, I think at 7 p.m., but the evening begins at 6, from 6 to 11. We'll see you there. And then, of course, Cody's Holiday Block Party, again, back here downtown the following week, December 12th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Bring the kiddos. There's going to be a lot of gifts being raffled off, so it's going to be an exciting time. Tamales and hot chocolate, and some good education with our code enforcement department sharing their info. Let me see. Our next scheduled meeting is for Tuesday, December 17th at 5:30 here in this very room, conference room. And I think I covered it all. Oh my gosh, yes, I didn't leave anything out. There's a lot going on. It's the holidays, and with that, I want to wish everyone a very blessed and safe Thanksgiving. For those who are going to be traveling, God bless you. Be careful, stay safe, be well. Anything else? Okay, so with that, I need a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting, please.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
We've got a motion on the floor. I need a second, please.
I second that.
Okay, we've got a second. I need someone to say yes. No, come on, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ya me estoy. Being that there's no opposition, the motion carries. Let's go home now.
Meeting is adjourned.
Can I say that?